join me down here at Todber Manor today. We're on Big Hayes Lake. The rods haven't been out that long. We trickled a little bit of bait in and one's finally rattled off. 31.4. Hopefully keep a few fish in the area. We've had a decent amount of liners from the off, to be fair. It's all right, yeah. Right, so that's the ninth and probably final bite of the sort of 24-hour session. Just keep it simple, keep your rig simple, keep your baiting strategy simple. We've had 9 bites, majority of them have been over £20, with the biggest one going just over 31. So you join me down here at Todber Manor today. We're on Big Hayes Lake. The rods haven't been out that long. We've had a decent amount of liners from the off, to be fair. We trickled a little bit of bait in and one's finally rattled off. Fingers crossed we can get this one in, show you it, and yeah, we'll show you the tactics that I'm going to use on this session, try and bank a few of these Todber carp. Fish is safely in the net, so I'm just going to trickle a few more boilies out on the spot. Hopefully keep a few fish in the area. We'll get this one weighed up and then we'll get the rods back out, hopefully catch a few more. £31.4. Nice, that'll do. So a nice start to the session. This rather round common came in at just over £31. Yeah, there's plenty more in here like this, so let's slip her back and see if we can get a few more. So as I mentioned before, I'm down here at Todber Manor. The fishing this time of year at Todber is really simple. It's just out and out boilie fishing. So I got down here about 10 or 11 o'clock, nipped into the tackle shop, grabbed a few bits, and we've headed down to Big Hayes Lake. As I work here, I've sort of noticed over the last sort of week or so that the fish have really started to switch on in Big Hayes, so I invited the ccmoore cameras down just to give you an insight into sort of the tactics that I use and the bait that I use, sort of like put a few of these carp on the bank. And as you've seen, the session started off really well, banking that £31 common early doors. So let's see if we can nick a couple more bites over the next 24 hours. So the swim I've chose down on Big Hayes is smack bang in the middle. It commands a lot of open water, and it's always going to be a sort of passing point for the fish if there's not a few already held up in here. So it's always a good sort of starting point, especially this time of year. They're not in the sort of shallower bays and up in the reeds quite yet. It's still, the water temperature's still sort of fairly cold. Yeah, and the sort of plan of action really was to sort of chuck a couple of rods out to my right, and I was going to stick a rod out to my left. And sort of fish for liners really, and sort of see where the fish were held up, and then sort of swing the rods the sort of the direction as to where I was getting the liners. And as it happened, the first 2 rods went out to the right, and I was getting liners right from the off, which is, you know, something I will sort of do down here. So I'll sort of fish a good drop in the bobbin, and you'll soon work out where the fish are from the bank, depending on the sort of liners you're getting. If they're sort of more aggressive and up down really fast, chances are they're a lot sort of closer in. But as it's happened again, they've been really sort of slow and ponderous. They've sort of crept all the way up to the top and dropped all the way back down again, which tells me I'm not a million miles off of them. Yeah, so I'm happy with that. I've got rods in an area that the fish are definitely in as well, and I'm going to trickle a little bit of bait in, and yeah, see if I can get 1 or 2 more. Things have slowed down a little bit, so I just introduced a few more baits into the swim with the catapult. Yeah, and a few minutes later, off it's rattled. Same rod again. Up the clay. I hate that when they're doing that, because you know they're just nuzzling into it. It's all right, isn't it? Well, that's number 2 for the session. Yeah, went a little bit quiet, so chucked a few more baits out, and then this little stunner rattled off. Not quite as big as the last one, but definitely the better looking of the 2. Yeah, and again, this one fell to the orange tipped hook bait, so I'm thinking I might change at least one, if not both the other rods, to the bright fluoro orange colour. Yeah, and see if it pays off on those. So the rigs I'm using on this session really couldn't be much simpler. I'm just using a short 7-inch section of coated braid, fishing on a leg clip because I know it's nice and firm out there where I'm fishing. Sort of fish blowback style, and I've attached a Life System hard hook bait tipped with one of the NS1 mini bites. Beauty of the mini bites is they come in obviously a variety of different colours. And even though it is a fairly coloured lake, certain days, certain colours will pick up bites. So at the moment I've got 3 rods, 3 different colours. We're going to see if one in particular goes off, and you know, by the end of the session we might even switch all 3 to that colour. And what I like to do just before casting it out is I like to thread a little free bait bag down the hook link. This does 2 things. 1, it helps eliminate tangles, and 2, it leaves a nice little parcel of boilies around your hook bait. So that's a quick rundown of the rig. A super simple but super effective way of catching the carp down here at Todber Manor. So we're just going into the evening. Just had an almighty rainstorm and this one decided to rattle off right in amongst it. So I got soaking wet while playing him. A nice mid-20 to show for my efforts. So I'm going to redo the rod now, put a little bit more bait out I think, and hopefully the action continues. Right, so I'm just topping up the spot for the evening, and I thought this would be the ideal time to sort of talk you through the bait I'm using and sort of how I apply it. And again, mega simple, literally just live system freezer baits, straight out of the shop. I haven't done anything fancy to them, and I'm sort of getting my rods out where I'm happy. I found the fish now, and I'm happy that the rods are on the right spots. So now I'm just going to sort of like introduce sort of 20 or 30 baits. Just with a catapult, not mega tight, sort of in and around an area to keep the fish sort of moving, and then I'll sort of then maybe even top that spot up with say another 10-15 baits in 20 minutes, half an hour, and I'll sort of keep doing that throughout the session. And you know, there's a lot of fish in here, so 700 or 800 fish. There's lots of 30-pounders, lots of 20-pounders. They can soon mop up a lot of bait. So by introducing bait little and often, you can keep them coming. You know there's always food in the swim, and you know, and the sort of plops of the buoys, I swear, it's sort of a bit like spotting on these day ticket waters. It can trigger a bite. So I'm going to get a few more out here now, and hopefully I can do exactly that. So that was an eventful night last night, not only on the fish front, but the weather was absolutely gopping. Yeah, managed another sort of 3 fish in the night. I ain't gonna lie, I did reel the rods in about 1 o'clock this morning. But I've got up first thing. Yeah, refreshed the rods, put some fresh rigs on, a little bit more bait out. And it's taken a little while, to be fair. I've had to sort of move them about a little bit, but I've put this one out to my left, and yeah, hasn't taken long, and it's romped off. And this one's probably going to be the last fish of the trip, so fingers crossed we can get it in. Right, so that's the 9th and probably final bite of the sort of 24-hour session. Yeah, I've probably fed about, I don't know, about 1.5 kilos of boilies, so not over expensive fishing. And I think the proof's in the pudding really. If you come to Todber, especially on big haze, or any of them to be fair, just keep it simple. Keep your rig simple, keep your baiting strategy simple. They love their boilies in here. I mean, yeah, we've gone for about 1.5 bags, like I say, of live system. We've had 9 bites, majority of them have been over 20 pound, with the biggest one going just over 31. So yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm going to pack down while it's relatively dry
and get home.